bring this meeting to order. Mayor Norton is unable to attend tonight, so he asked me to fill in for him. Call to order. Start with the invocation and pledge by Pastor Courtney Harkness, Cumberland Community Church, 3059 South Cobb Drive. All stand.
If we could bow our heads to pray. Dear God, Lord, we dare not step into any business, any work, or any activity without first acknowledging you. And so we pause to do that, sir. We acknowledge, Lord, that you are sovereign. You are in complete control. You hold all the people in your hands. You hold all of their hopes, all of their dreams. You hold their problems, and you hold the solutions. And that is why we come to you. That is why we look to you. And dear Lord, we look to you for wisdom, for guidance, for backing, dear God, as in this meeting we look to serve your people, dear God. We thank you for the opportunity to execute your heart right here in this community. I pray that you would be glorified. I pray, Lord, that you would give understanding to the leaders who've been elected here as they decide and as they examine what's needed, dear God. And I thank you, Lord, that there would be a spirit of unity in the decisions that are made, Lord. I thank you, Lord, that this city, this community would be governed by love. We trust you with that, sir. It is in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. If we would pledge the allegiance to the flag of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor. Appreciate you being here tonight. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. No agenda changes for tonight. And on the mayoral report, I had the pleasure of attending last night's Braves game, and which was probably the most crowded I've ever seen, the Battery. But unfortunately, it didn't turn out the way we all wanted it to. But definitely an exciting time for for Braves fans and for all that were there last night. And I think it's really a wonderful asset that we have right across the street from the city of Smyrna. So we're fortunate, and thanks for staff for arranging everything on the city of Smyrna side to be safe and all that. So we got a day off of rest, and hopefully the Braves pull it out tomorrow night. Move on to the agenda. We'll start with item 3A, proclamation in recognition of Veterans Day poppy distribution, November 6th, 7th, and 11th, 2021. And do you want to read? Is there anything to read? Or, no? We'll turn that over to Mr.
I think we have some representatives, June Burgess and Cindy Monk. If y'all would step up, I will read the proclamation and bring it out and present it to y'all. Is there something I would like to say first?
Well, I am June Burgess, Cindy Monk, and we're members of the auxiliary at Post 160. And every May and November, Memorial Day and Veterans Day, we distribute poppies for donations. So if, with your permission, we'd like to distribute poppies after the proclamation.
Okay, thank you. A proclamation by the mayor of the city of Smyrna in recognition of Veterans Day poppy distribution, November 2021. Whereas America is the land of freedom, preserved and protected willingly and freely by citizen soldiers, and whereas millions who have answered the call to arms have died on the field of battle, and whereas a nation at peace must be reminded of the price of war and the debt owed to those who have died in war, and whereas the red poppy has been designated as a symbol of sacrifice of lives in all wars, and whereas the American Legion Auxiliary has pledged to remind America annually of this debt through the distribution of the memorial flower. Now, therefore, I, Derek Norton, Mayor of the City of Smyrna, Georgia, do hereby proclaim during the month of November in 2021, the 6th, 7th, and 11th as Veterans Day Poppy Distribution Days, and ask that all citizens pay tribute to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the name of freedom by wearing the memorial poppy. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my name, caused the seal of the city of Smyrna to be affixed upon this, the first day of November in the year of our Lord, 2021. Derek Norton, Mayor. Thank you very much. Thank you for what y'all do. And you can make.
Thank you for being here.
We'll be distributing poppies for donations, and all donations go to the veterans.
Thank you so much for being here, and make sure you get at least $1 out of all of us. Thank you all for doing that. All right, we'll move on with, there's no land issues and zoning annexations now. Item 5, no privilege licenses. Item 6, under formal business.
Thank you. We appreciate the support. Thank you.
All right, item 6A, formal business, ORD 2021-19, and I will turn it over to Mr. Bennett.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Approval of ordinance ORD 2021-19 to amend Section 5, an ordinance of the City of Smyrna, Mayor and Council, Stormwater Management, the Code of Ordinances as amended to delete Article 5, Section 46-140 to 46-148 in its entirety, including any amendments thereto, and replace it with new Article V, Stormwater Management, also to repeal conflicting provisions and for other purposes, and authorize the mayor to sign and execute all related documents. The Georgia Environmental Protection Division requires local jurisdictions with municipal separate stormwater systems to adopt ordinances or update existing ordinances when necessary for compliance with their MS4 permit in order to address development and redevelopment and enforce post-construction controls. Recent updates to the MS4 permit now require the stormwater management system to be designed to retain the first 1 inch of rainfall on the site to the maximum extent practicable, and has prompted an update to existing ordinances. The city engineer and staff recommend approval of ordinance ORD 2021-19.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. I will turn this over to our resident water expert, Mr. Corky Welch.
That's stretching it. But with that, I would like to make a motion to approve ordinance 2021-19 as previously read by Mr. Bennett.
Motion by Mr. Welch, seconded by Mr. Pickens. All in favor? Item passes 6-0. Thank you. Item 6B, ORD 2021-21. I will ask Mr. Bennett to read the background, please.
Thank you, sir. This is to amend Section 102-48I, an ordinance of the City of Smyrna, main lines of the Code of Ordinances as amended. Currently, Section 102-48I requires water distribution system main lines to be ductile iron pipe Class 51. Public Works is requesting to change material to Class 350 ductile iron pipe and 51 matching Cobb County specs, along with amended verbiage to add to existing ordinances, stating that the Director of Public Works and/or environmental inspector may change class of pipe and size if deemed necessary. Again, this is a request from Public Works to amend this ordinance. The Director of Public Works, as well as the city engineer, request this update.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. I'll ask Mr. Welch to handle this one also, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance 2021-21. I happen to know a little bit more about this one. The class 51 is a bit of an odd designation these days. It's a little bit more costly. So we're taking some efforts to save a little bit of money. Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Welch, second by Mr. Wheaton. All in favor? Motion passes 6-0. Item 6C, Resolution 2021-09. Approval of Resolution 2021-09 for Mayor and Council support of submission of the Cobb Parkway pedestrian bridge to the Atlanta Regional Commission's Transportation Improvement Program and authorize the mayor to sign and execute all related documents. Mr. Bennett.
Thank you, sir. The concept of a safe, coordinated pedestrian crossing over Cobb Parkway, also known as US 41 north of I-285, was first identified as a project need through the Cumberland Community Improvement District, CID Blueprint Cumberland 3.0 Master Plan, adopted by the Community Improvement District Board of Directors in 2017. The City of Smyrna developed and adopted the Spring Road Corridor Livable Centers Initiative Plan, which echoed a need for an alternative pedestrian crossing of the parkway, as well as in Guide Smyrna, the city's comprehensive plan, also updated in 2017. And the city has previously committed 2022 SPLOST Transportation Improvement Program funding in an amount not to exceed $3,680,000 for the construction of the Cobb Parkway US 41 pedestrian bridge. The Atlanta Regional Commission conducts an annual solicitation for project funding proposals in its Transportation Improvement Program, which allocates federal funds for the use in the construction of the highest priority projects in the Regional Transportation Plan, with applications for the 2021 solicitation due by December 2nd, 2021. The Cumberland Community Improvement District desires to submit a TIP project funding proposal for the Cobb Parkway pedestrian bridge, reduce its potential cost, and streamline its implementation, and that the City of Smyrna City Council supports the Cumberland Community Improvement District submission to the Cobb Parkway pedestrian bridge to the Atlanta Regional Commission's Transportation Improvement Program.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. This proposed project is in Ward 1. I'll turn it over to Mr. Pickens.
Sorry. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Just want to make a motion to approve Resolution 2021-09 for the pedestrian bridge over Cobb Parkway.
Motion by Mr. Pickens and seconded by Mr. Wagner. Please vote. Motion passes 6-0. Thank you. Item 6D, AGR 2021-12, approval of the proposed agreement and statement of work between the City of Smyrna and Civic Plus for C-Click Fix services, and authorize the mayor or city administrator to sign and execute all documents related thereto. Mr. Bennett, please.
In order to improve the city's ability to communicate with its citizens, the city has been evaluating several potential software solutions. One potential product is C-Click Fix, which is a smartphone app that allows citizens to send requests to the city directly from the phone with geographic data and optionally pictures of issues. This then creates workflows to ensure that the request is properly resolved and updates the citizen when it is completed. In order to allow us to fully evaluate the product, Civic Plus is offering the first year free of charge. The recommendation is to approve the agreement with Civic Plus for C-Click Fix and authorize the mayor or city administrator to sign and execute all documents related thereto.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. This is a tool that Cobb County uses, and it's effective for folks to be able to identify issues and report them in an efficient manner. And so I'd like to turn this over to Ms. Wilkinson.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to move to approve item 6D, AGR 2021-12, approval of the proposed agreement and statement of work between the City of Smyrna and Civic Plus for C-Click Fix services, and authorize the mayor or city administrator to sign and execute all documents related thereto.
Thank you. Motion by Ms. Wilkinson, seconded by Dr. Wheaton. All in favor? Motion passes 6-0. Everybody's very agreeable tonight. Excellent. 6E, RGR 2021-13, approval of the proposed agreement and scope of work with the Atlanta Regional Commission for technical assistance in the development of the 5-year update to the city's 2040 comprehensive plan. Mr. Bennett, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Georgia Department of Community Affairs, also known as DCA, requires a 5-year update to the city's 2040 comprehensive plan. The Atlanta Regional Commission, also known as ARC, provides technical assistance to local communities for the development of the 5-year update free of charge. The 5-year update to the 2040 comprehensive plan is due to be drafted, reviewed, approved by DCA, and locally adopted by October 31st, 2022. Georgia DCA requires that the Atlanta Regional Commission develop a basic agreement on the scope of work when engaging with the local government to update its plan. Attached is a proposed agreement and scope of work. It outlines the division of responsibilities between ARC and the city. As part of the scope of work for the 5-year update, ARC will check on and update the needs and opportunities, visions, goals, and key elements like land use, transportation, housing, economic development, etc., of the city's comprehensive plan. In general, ARC will facilitate 3 steering committee meetings, 1 public meeting, and a project website if requested that can include a survey. Also, ARC will be available to present at the 2 DCA required hearings if requested, 1 at kickoff and 1 before transmittal for review. Community Development recommends approval of the proposed agreement.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. I'll turn this over to Councilman Travis Lindley.
Thank you, Mayor Gould. Motion do pass as previously read and reported.
Motion by Councilman Lindley, seconded by Mr. Wagner. Motion passes 6-0. Thank you. Item 6F, 2021-476, approval to award RFQ 22-013 citywide resurfacing project to rebid to Baldwin Paving of 1014 Ken Mill Drive, Northwest, Marietta, Georgia, 30060, in the amount of $870,326 for paving and resurfacing of 4 city streets: Campbell Road, North Cooper Lake Road, Camp Highland Road, and Hawthorne Avenue. Mr. Bennett, please.
Thank you, sir. The City of Smyrna requested bids for various resurfacing projects per the city's time frame. 3 bids were received. Bidder 1, Baldwin Paving Company at $1,183.61.29. MHB Paving Incorporated, $1,191,072 with 42 cents. And PLB Construction Services, $1,326,899.25. Due to budget limitations, we requested line item pricing from the low bidder to complete 4 roads, being Campbell Road, North Cooper Lake Road, Camp Highland Road, and Hawthorne Avenue. The total for this work is $870,326.46. It's the recommendation of Purchasing and Public Works for approval to award this RFQ.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. I'll ask Mr. Wagner to handle this one, please.
Yeah, thanks. I'm glad that we're getting this on the right path now, and I'll move to approve item 6F as previously read.
Motion by Mr. Wagner, second by Mr. Pickens. Please vote. Passes 6-0. Item 6G, 2021-509, authorization to abandon the area in land lot 594 of the 17th District, 2nd Section, Cobb County, formerly described as Elizabeth Street Extension, but never built or dedicated to the city of Smyrna, and quit claim whatever interest of the city, if any, to the adjacent property owners to the center line and authorize staff to sign and execute all related documents. This is in Ward 3, so turn it over to Councilman Lindley. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Mr. Bennett, background, please.
Yes, sir. Decades ago, Elizabeth Street Extension was contemplated to be built, but never was, and was never dedicated to the city. This has never been part of the public road system, but it is shown on some old plats and is referenced in deeds. Although the area where the road was to be located was never dedicated to the city, the plats and deed references could cause potential title issues. The adjacent property owners have requested that the city release whatever interest it has, if any, in the strip through quitclaim deed to the adjoining owners to the center line of the area that was originally contemplated to be a road. This is consistent with city policy. Staff recommends authorization to abandon the area in land lot 594 of the 17th District, 2nd Section, Cobb County, formerly described as Elizabeth Street Extension.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Now I'll ask Mr. Lindley to handle it.
Thank you, Mr. Gould, and thanks to City Administrator Bennett and I say the chief. We've had some ongoing issues on Elizabeth Street, so we're hopeful this starts the process to addressing some long-term solutions on that street. And with that, motion do pass as presented.
Motion by Mr. Lindley, second by Mr. Pickens. Please vote. Motion passes 6-0. Thank you all. Item 7, commercial building permits. We have none. Item 8 is the consent agenda, and Mr. Bennett lost the coin flip, and he gets to read it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Item A, MIN 2021-79, approval of the October 14th, 2021 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. Item B, MIN 2021-77, approval of the October 18th, 2021 pre-council meeting minutes. Item C, MIN 2021-78, approval of the October 18th, 2021 mayor and council meeting minutes. Item D, 2021-506, approval of the recommended 2022 employee benefits insurance plans, providers, and plan designs as recommended by insurance broker John Knopp of Oak Bridge Insurance, as well as staff, and authorize the mayor to sign and execute all related documents. Item E, approval of the city's wellness program renewal in the amount of $125,000 with Corporate Health Partners, also known as CHP, and authorize the mayor to sign and execute all related documents. Item F, appointment of Assistant Public Works Director Bo Jones to serve as an alternate member of the License and Variance Board, and to remove the appointment of Deputy City Administrator Penny Masheri as an alternate member of the License and Variance Board. Item G, appointment of Human Resources Manager Mary Jordan as the Civil Service Board Clerk. Item H, approve the closing of the following streets for the Smyrna Parks and Recreation's Home for the Holidays: King Street from Stevens to Village Green Circle, and West Spring Street from the Fountain to King Street, from 3 o'clock p.m. to 11 o'clock p.m. on Tuesday, November 30th, 2021. Item I, approval of the 2021 Modified Crown Castle Site Lease Agreement, BU 8442/Georgia 2383, Smyrna Police Fire, 2646 Atlanta Road, Smyrna, Georgia. Site lease agreement dated January 9th, 1997, and authorize the mayor to sign and execute all related documents. And Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I will yield there and allow you to say a few words about the next two items.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. I had asked Mr. Bennett to pause at items J and K, particularly J. We had a long, important discussion last Thursday amongst mayor and council about pay raises for public safety, in particular right now, our police department. Like many businesses in most cities, we're in a very competitive labor market, and the next two items are meant to address that. First, item J, the mayor brought forward and suggested an idea of a significant pay raise for our police department. We're in a situation where we need to right now, frankly, we're the lowest paid police department in the county, and we need to change that. I think our citizens would support that, and we're going to take action to make that happen. We're engaged with a comp study with University of Georgia Carl Vinson Institute, and that'll come back to us sometime early next year. But in the meantime, we just need to make some adjustments. So we're doing that under the guidance of our HR staff. And it'll be ultimately about a 28% pay raise, if I remember that right, and make us, in some ways, we'll be the highest paid police department in the county. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir. And the item tonight is intended to address compression issues that the raises for individual employees will range in the mid 20% down to average about 8 to 9%, but will raise the starting salary for police officers significantly.
So I think a key thing is y'all need to know that we understand as a council, and the mayor clearly does, how important public safety is to the city, and we want to make sure we're doing all we can on our side to ensure Chief Sagans has the appropriate staff and a staff that plans on being here in the city of Smyrna for a long haul, because that's really the folks. We want the folks to stay. And we want to create an environment where they're compensated fairly, but it's also an environment where they're part of the community and they stay for years. So, Chief, we appreciate you being here tonight, and the mayor is pleased to do what we can to help facilitate that. And then item K is just a creative way of helping folks who have not had an opportunity to use their vacation and to basically sell that back to the city, turn that back in for compensation. Because a lot of folks, our staff works so hard, and they have not had a chance. Many have not had a chance to use their full vacation. So it's again a way to help everybody on the income level, right, and get some more money for Christmas or whatnot, right, and sell their vacation back to the city. So, thank you, Mr. Bennett.
Yes, sir. To continue, item J, 2021-513. Authorization to implement the pay study from the Carl Vinson Institute specific to the police department to increase officer starting pay and address compression in police administration. This will be funded by general fund reserves. Finally, item K, 2021-514. Authorization for a one-time annual leave sellback of 40 hours of annual leave for employees having 80 hours accrued as of 11/1/2021. This will be funded out of general fund reserves.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Motion to approve by Mr. Lindley, seconded by Mr. Pickens. All vote, please. Consent agenda passes 6-0. Item 9, ward and committee reports. Dr. Wheaton, would you like to start us off?
Sure thing. Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Just a quick comment. I'll be sending out some communication to residents that have subscribed to my newsletter from Ward 7 and others this week. There'll be some good information, hopefully, in there about some of the things that actually we talked about tonight and ways to make sure that you're able to get the information you need as a resident to be connected with the community. And with that, I will yield.
Thank you, Ms. Wilkinson.
Thank you, Mr. Gould. I would like to tell my husband, Doward, happy anniversary. Tomorrow is our anniversary, and it's 30 years. And also, I want to mention with watching the Braves, and it brings back memories when 30 years ago, when we were a week before we got married, the Braves were in the World Series, and we had a wedding shower that our friends had hosted for us, and everybody was more interested in watching the Braves. And guess what we're going to do tomorrow night? Go Braves!
That's it. Mr. Welch?
I have no report this evening, thank you.
Mr. Lindley?
Thank you, Mr. Gould. This is just two quick things. This afternoon, Councilman Wheaton and Welch and I met with a stakeholder group, the task force, to look at options and the future of Aunt Fanny's Cabin. So we're looking at that over the next couple of weeks. The Aunt Fanny's for the room that, or anybody watching, is in some pretty bad shape, so the city's got some big decisions to make on that front. And then working with staff on the streetlight issue that appeared on everybody's property taxes, dealing with the homeowners association, so looking to streamline that process. So with that, thank you, sir, and go Braves.
Thank you. Ward 2, Mr. Wagner?
Yeah, the only thing that I wanted to remind everyone is that even though we don't have municipal elections, we all have something on the ballot tomorrow, and you can go vote on the East Blast referendum for all of Cobb County. So no municipal for us, but still can go to your polling place and have your voice heard on the East Blast.
It probably would take you 15 seconds to get it done
Yeah,
tomorrow. Be fast.
probably.
Yeah.
One question.
One question. And
So,
it's important.
all right, and that's all.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner. Mr. Pickens?
Thanks, Mayor Pro Tem. Just one thing, over the last, I guess, 6 months or so, council members, Gould and Wheaton and I have been working on a short-term rental ordinance, and now the city is looking for feedback, and it's on the website with a survey attached. So just, if you have time, go on there and fill out the survey, or if you have any questions, just let either one of us know. So, that's all.
Thank you, Mr. Pickens. Just a couple of things, if I can echo the comment about voting tomorrow. It's really important for the East Blast. It's the only thing on the agenda, only thing we're voting for tomorrow, so it's quick and easy, but it does have a huge impact on the city of Smyrna. Those funds obviously go to the school district, but the success of our public and private schools in the city go a long way to positively affect the trajectory of our, of our community. So I do encourage you all to go out and vote in favor of it, please. Couple quick things. Campbell High School's got a cleanup day tomorrow. Same thing. It's probably one of the biggest assets of our city. 3,000 kids in that school, most diverse school arguably in the state, and it can use our help. So if anybody has some time Saturday morning, we'll be out there cleaning up different parts. The Raiders, which is the junior ROTC group at the high school, organizes it. And they do a great job. They'll have probably 80 cadets out there, and they're structured where they have student leadership in the cadets that really do a great job, and Colonel Halsey orchestrates it, but it's most of the work is done by the students and the cadets. So, but that is it. So thank you for the ward reports. We have no show cause hearings, and now citizen input. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Lindy. Friday night is the Smyrna Public Safety Foundation Gala at Adventure Outdoors, 6 o'clock, I think. So it's the Public Safety Foundation really does an excellent job of supporting our police and fire department and really engaging the community in activities to support them, but also to allow those folks to support the community more effectively. We are really fortunate to have an outstanding police department and an outstanding fire department. And if you have ask Chief Sagans or Chief Akery, we have the best in the state, and I think anybody up here would agree with that also. So when you have the opportunity, please do support the Smyrna Public Safety Foundation. Thank you. Citizen comment. First, we have Kathy Womack. Thank you. Three minutes on the timer, please. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Kathy Omates, 207 Countryside in Smyrna here. I just wanted to comment on the process that has been going on. I'm really concerned about the proposed brewery. You know what? It sounds really, like Corky said, it sounds great, you know, and exciting and lively, and I know that's what's wanted. The size of it has me really, really concerned, I think. And unfortunately, it's what I heard tonight was an ultimatum. Either you give me that spot, because that's what's going to be best for us, or we don't want to be here. And I think we need to think about our community, and can we get something like that? Maybe it's not the best fit. Maybe we can find another lively something in that spot. I was really happy to hear the questions asked and to see the council actively engaged. I was really, really happy about that. But after listening to everything, I'm left with the feeling that they're great people and that they are doing good, but I am also left with the feeling that it's not the right spot. It's not the right fit for that spot. If they could go someplace, that was my hope, is that they could go someplace else, maybe by the river or something like that, but they gave ultimatum and said it's either here or, you know, forget it. So I just wanted to say I really hope that some deep consideration for long-term is given to this, because I think our...
Thank you, Kathy. Appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you. Heather, do we have a timer going? Okay, thank you. Pat Burns, 10 Concord Road, Smyrna.
My name is Pat Burns, 10 Concord Road, Southwest Smyrna. I'm a Smyrna homeowner, stakeholder, and community volunteer. The elephant in the room has arrived. After passage of Phase 1 of Smyrna's downtown redesign, all preparation for the slick shoe-in of Stillfire Factory has begun. The lack of transparency by Smyrna's embracement of Stillfire is an embarrassing disrespect for good judgment among elected leaders and staff. Smyrna appears to be hurriedly giving away the store without a vision. Think Wade's and West Spring Street. Mark Twain said, "Appearances are the externals by which we judge." Locating a factory with delivery trucks coming and going smack dab in the heart of Smyrna appears to be a viewpoint that city leaders are willing to accept anything. As another citizen stated even better, it's accepting a marriage proposal on the first date. Successful communities protect their assets. For example, the environmentally protective land use plans adopted by Jackson, Wyoming. Our vacant lot is a public asset, an asset that an innovative and creative collaborative of invested citizens could showcase. Maybe the final decision would be a brewery or public building for the arts, but without seeing possibilities or inviting other businesses and breweries to explore its potential uses, Smyrna is kneecapping itself. Stillfire has said it will take its toys and go home if it doesn't get what it wants. Is that a friend? Another great city asset is its residents. These are the talented and involved individuals who are ready to be included in the decision-making process. Abraham Lincoln's cabinet is known as the team of rivals. This is where collaboration and teamwork begin for businesses and governments. It is a key moving forward without the specter of alienation and distrust.
Thank you, Ms. Burns. June Burgess, 4180 Deerwood Parkway. Is June still here? No? Okay. Jenny Barty, 4094 Laurel Springs Highway, Laurel Springs Way.
Hi, Mayor Pro Tem and council members. It has been a sad series of events that have led us to where we are today. A rapid-fire series of events that have led us to have a key part of our award-winning downtown destroyed, with promises of more to come. The last city council meeting was a tragedy. At the meeting prior to October 18th, which was October 4th, every single citizen speaking was in opposition to the downtown redevelopment, with the exception of one man there on a different topic. Citizens have expressed their concern time and time again at previous council member meetings, in letters and in personal meetings with many of you, and on social media. We have been shut down at every turn, not given serious consideration, and often treated with disdain. What kind of a way is that to run city government? I have a special message for Mr. Norton. He's not here today, so I'm not going to speak to that. I'm going to save it for another time. But I do want to say something to you all, a couple more things. I really hold out hope that you, as elected officials, act in our interest in the impactful decisions that you make. And just on a more personal note, I'm sorry to have seemed so disagreeable to many of you. I'm actually a pretty good-natured person, and I have a great sense of humor. But I have had a really hard time pretending to enjoy myself at these meetings. That's because what is being done with our downtown is so sad to many residents, including myself. But I do look forward to assisting you in future efforts to make Smyrna an even more amazing community than it already is. And I just look forward to a brighter future with all of you, and I thank you for your service.
Ms. Barty, I can say one thing is, I mean, I think we all appreciate the passion that you and the other folks who have a similar opinion, bring forth in your efforts. And I'd say one thing, I think we are all have the same goal in mind. We want, the best for Smyrna. So obviously we disagree on how to get there, right? But I know I do, and I think Mayor does, and everybody up here appreciates the efforts that you all put into this, because it's what makes Smyrna a better city to live in, when you have the wrestling with these issues and listening and sharing thoughts. So,
Well, thank you for saying that, and I hope that all city council members feel that way and that the mayor feels that way.
He absolutely does. Yes.
Thank you all.
Yes, thank you. Sean Martin, Williams Park.
Good evening. I just want to say, kind of echo what Jenny was saying a moment ago about, I too am sad about what's happening in the downtown area. For the life of me, I can't understand why the fountain would be removed at the last minute or so suddenly. But I am here to do something specific. And so I've kind of preached. You guys are probably tired of my sermons. And so I'd like to read a letter that we have put together. It is addressed to Derek Norton on behalf of Smart Smyrna. It says, Mayor Norton, on behalf of Smart Smyrna, we dutifully submit these signatures in protest to the sale of the property located east of the community center along Atlanta Road. We feel this property belongs to the citizens of Smyrna and should remain in the city of Smyrna's keeping. We have canvassed in many ways, discussed the issues with citizens, and have amassed a total of 901 signatures, 640 online signatures, and 261 handwritten signatures. The breakdown of the signature polls are as follows: 359 online plus 268 from Smyrna, Mapleton area. A total of 627 signatures. Marietta, Kennesaw, 27 online. Metro Atlanta area, 72 online. Non-local, which means not Georgia or not within close proximity, 173. And of course, you know, the pranksters with the funny names, we have tabulated those to be 9 online. We hope that you will take heed to this overwhelming response to the proposed sale of the property. We would like to recommend other uses for this property that have also been suggested by many citizens. If you have further questions, please don't hesitate to contact myself or anyone with Smart Smyrna. And again, we appreciate your service to the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Joan Martin, 1191 Powder Spring Street.
Hello, my name is Joan Martin, and I live at 1191 Powder Spring Street. You stated months ago that Stillfire Brewing was coming to Smyrna, and citizens learned that a letter of intent to sell the city land had been signed before an appraisal of the land was completed. It was stated that Stillfire approached the city. If this is so, why are we offering them incentives like a parking deck, picnic area, and a viewing stage, all at taxpayer expense? Why are we proposing to sell prime space, which should be utilized for the benefit of all Smyrna citizens? Have you considered alternative locations for the brewery? Have you considered alternative uses for the land? What about an expansion of the community center or an indoor swimming pool? An industrial-looking beer manufacturer with 6 exterior silos adjacent to a recreation facility for all ages, including impressionable teenagers, should not be the face of Smyrna. For years, people have been moving to East Cobb for the excellent schools. Will the brewery do the same for Smyrna?
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Just for record, since you put some effort into that, I don't know the 6 silos, so I'm not sure if that's really. So we'll see. Yeah. So there'll be more discussions around the details of the brewery before anything moves forward, of course. Ms. Pardon me. Sorry, Ms. Knowlton.
Mayor Pro Tem, Councilman, I'm here this evening and I had kind of a few notes prepared, but I went to the presentation tonight and I want to start with a couple of comments. That's one thing that since we couldn't talk at the meeting that you all were left without seeing, and that is you saw a pretty picture of the brewery. You didn't see the 6 silos that are going to be the first thing that people coming from Marietta are going to see when they're approaching Smyrna. Another thing that I wanted to point out is that they said that they could not get the money to build the facility unless they own the land. That's funny because in Suwanee, they don't own the building or the land. well, they might own the building because they had to make renovations, but I don't think they do. That is, the city might sell to them in 3 years, but at this time, they do not own that property. Also, I'm not sure what you all said about the appraisal. Is there an appraisal finished? And what was the value? Because that has not been made public.
Appraisal is done, yes, and matches close to the sale price.
What, I'm sorry?
The appraisal is completed, and the appraisal came in below the sale price.
Interesting. Are you all aware that the rumors that are going around that Atkins Park is behind taxes?
Maybe if you want to do your public comment, that'd be great. I'd like to hear what you have to say.
Okay. Well, my next thing that I want to touch base on is public comments. The process of the open houses was totally flawed because the people organizing it and the people tabulating the results are the only people that are going to benefit from this renovation. I have the city sent all the comments. There are 134 comments, and those comments are mostly against the project. I don't know who decided to say that this was a successful result, that the city of Smyrna wants this, but this is in your possession, and it says the contrary. Then there are online submissions. There are a total of 4, and they are not very in for it either. Then there is the likes and dislikes.
Excellent.
Okay, against it too.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
So this is in your possession. The people of Smyrna do not want a brewery.
Some people in Smyrna don't want a brewery.
Well, I mean, this is people that came to your
go
open
on, but-
house. This is people that came to your open house. And these are the results and what they wrote,
Thank you, ma'am.
okay?
I forgot
Thank
to ask
you.
staff. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. Thank you. Forgot to ask staff. We had any comments or anything to bring up?
Just echoing everyone else's comments. Go Braves.
Go Braves.
And sir, I just wanted to let the public know that any information regarding voting tomorrow and the precincts that they need to attend to do so is located on our website under the Your Government tab.
Mr. Cochran?